Emily puffed into the station. There was Lincoln waiting for her. She pulled into the station. Soon Lincoln was on board, and Emily puffed away. All the engines were waiting for Lincoln. They were talking about him, and then they heard a whistle. "Here she comes," said Dash. Emily pulled into the yard with the special coach. Thomas darted into the yard. "Am I late? Oh no, I've missed him," he said. Thomas watched as Lady Hat's car drove up the hill and out of sight. Thomas and Percy sat alone in the yard. All the other engines had left. "What's the word on the Fat Controller?" asked Thomas. "He's going to be in hospital for the next few days," said Percy. "I hope he's all right." "He will be," said Thomas. "These things take time." But then Thomas saw that Percy looked concerned. "What's the matter, Percy?" asked Thomas. "I saw something strange last night," said Percy. "What did it look like?" asked Thomas. It was big. It looked like a diesel, and it was like a sort of sandy color, like a dark yellow." Thomas gasped. "Percy, be honest with me here. Did the object have hazard stripes on his side?" Yes, it did," said Percy. "Oh, no. The diesel from the secret island. He must have followed me back to Sodor. Oh no, what am I going to do?" "That diesel is trouble," said Percy, "and it's all your fault." "You're right, it is all my fault," said Thomas. He was sad. Thomas puffed sadly into Tidmouth Sheds. "Oh no," he said. "What?" said Henry. "Oh, nothing," said Thomas, and he closed his eyes. Thomas opened his eyes. Then he realized he wasn't at the sheds. He was at the shunting yards. A thick fog hung around the rails, clouding them from view. The fog was so thick, Thomas couldn't even see his own wheels. Thomas then looked around. There was no one there. He sat alone and scared. But he wasn't for long. A low rumbling sound was heard in the distance, and the ghostly image of the diesel appeared in front of him. "What?" Thomas shivered. "You are here!" he cried. "Yes, of course I'm here," the diesel sneered. Why are you doing this? What do you want with me?" "I'm here because your controller banished me to that horrid island many years ago. And I'll take it out on you, and then I'll take care of him." "No," said Thomas. "You can't do this." Thomas? What? How do you know my name? Thomas, wake up. You're going to be late for work. Thomas, wake up. What? Huh? Thomas, are you all right? Oh, Lincoln, it's just you. But wait, where's the big yellow diesel? What big yellow diesel? Said Lincoln. Oh, it was just a dream. But I need to be on the lookout for that diesel. Thomas was puffing along his branch line with a mixed goods train. Then, when he came to a siding, he saw Duck sitting in the siding. "Hey, Duck," said Thomas. "What's the matter?" "Oh, hello, Thomas," said Duck. "I don't feel too good." Thomas looked concerned. "I hope Duck is okay," he said. "Well, I'll see you later, Duck." And Thomas puffed away. "Bye, Thomas," Duck said wearily. Thomas had delivered his goods train and was heading back to his branch line when he saw Billy at a junction. Billy had to do Duck's work as well as his own. "Oh, hey, Thomas," said Billy. "Hey, Billy," said Thomas. "Is Duck feeling any better?" "No," said Billy. "He won't stop moaning. It's actually becoming kind of annoying." "Well, I can't stop, Thomas. I must keep the time." And Billy puffed away. It was a rather windy day, but Billy was determined to get his passengers to their destination on time. After Billy had delivered his passengers, he went to go see Duck. But Duck was nowhere to be seen. "That's strange," said Billy. "Duck isn't here." He looked around. Duck was nowhere to be seen. His driver found a note and ripped it off. After Billy's driver read the note, he was horrified. "This note is from the scrapyard," he said. "It's saying Duck will be scrapped tonight." Stepney was at a junction with some dynamite for the Blue Mountain Quarry when Billy tore into the junction. "Hello, Billy," said Stepney. "What's the matter?" "It's Duck," said Billy. "He's going to be scrapped tonight." Stepney was horrified. "What are we waiting for? Let's go!" Stepney was uncoupled from the dynamite and the two engines set off to the scrapyard. Billy and Stepney tore into the scrapyard and found Duck in a siding. But then, Harry and Bert buffered up behind the two engines and began to pull them away. Stepney bashed against Harry. "Just give up," said Harry. "He's gone." The diesels were too strong and began pulling the engines out of the scrapyard. Stepney tried to pull back, but it was too late. The engines puffed back into the shed and were horrified to see a mangled pile of green metal pieces. Duck had been torn to pieces. Stepney stared sadly at the pieces. "I am so sorry, Stepney," said Billy. "It's not your fault," Stepney whimpered. "Come on, let's go." And they puffed away. Stepney had gone off on his own. He wanted to be alone. Thomas was waiting at a junction when Stepney puffed sadly up to the junction. "Stepney," said Thomas, "why the sad face?" "Duck's been scrapped," said Stepney sadly. "What?" said Thomas. But before he could say anything more, green pieces of debris started flying around him. "What's going on?" said Stepney. "I don't know," said Thomas. The green pieces flew into a tunnel. "That tunnel must lead to the secret island," said Thomas. "Secret island?" asked Stepney. Yes, said Thomas. I've been there. That must be where the other engines are, said Stepney. I'm going to investigate. Be careful, said Thomas, and take care. I'll meet you there. Okay, said Stepney. Stepney puffed slowly towards the tunnel. I could still save Molly, Donald, Paxton, and Stafford. Stepney puffed into the tunnel and disappeared.